Hey,
What?
hey,
What?
welcome to TTC Cars. My name's Brian.
Craig.
And we have a freaking gem today, and it is not the ISF, but those ISF fans are here for it, the Lexus IS500 F Sport. Craig, how do you feel about it? Beside himself, I know, he can't take it. Come on down.
Talk.
Come on down. So we're gonna do exterior first, and look, we have been waiting for this car for a while. If you go back to our old channel, actually it's now called Texas Truck Channel, we reviewed this before anyone else did, or we did a walk around on it. It did very well. We've loved it ever since. This one's covered in Grecian blue. If you go back to that same channel, you'll also see the IS350 F Sport review we did almost 2 years ago. It looked exactly like this, same wheels. The only difference is there's 2 more cylinders in this one. That was our only complaint with the old one. We just literally wanted the V8. Everything else was great about it. That's what's happened here. So, Grecian water blue, that's the color of this. You get in close. Look, Lexus has been winning. I did a good paint job this year, awards forever. It's ringing true here. It is great. It's got some metallic to it. It's got a hint of pearl just on the body lines alone. And then aesthetically, come look at the nose. I love the headlight package. It has this kind of check mark on both sides.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive, but it fits this car. This Predator Mall look, when you see it on like the, what am I thinking? The LX600, Craig. It's just too much of this, right?
Yeah.
The 460 is a little better. This is just right. This is the right nose.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love the chiseled jawline down here and these little hooks down there. And the lights look great. These are white for daytime running lights, and they go amber when you put your turn signals on. They look really good. Check out the hood on profile. This right here, if you remember the ISF, it had a big bump to fit the 5-liter V8 under it. Well, this got a little bump, but it still harkens back to that. I love it. I think aesthetically, just hard to go wrong with this. It doesn't look super futuristic, it just looks right. And that's the important thing. Let's check out wheels and tires. This one has 235 40 19 Bridgestones. These are Potenzas, and they have been actually really good. They grip really well. They're actually pretty linear. And this is not a burnout machine, it's not a Hellcat, but this tire is perfect. It is quite on the highway. You can do high speeds and there's no tram lining or noise and that kind of stuff, but it turns in way sharper than you expect it to every time, and it lets go progressively. Now, braking, these guys are big. These are 4-pots, they are monoblocks, and they are a 2-piece rotor. Look right there. I don't want to touch it because it's too hot. That's all about heat dissipation, and I find the braking very interesting. We'll talk more on the drive, but you've got the hardware, you don't have the brake pad to go with it. There was a choice to get a very quiet street pad. I would literally just change pads and leave it alone. You've got the hardware, you've got the meat and the expensive part already there. Coming on down, F Sport, you see that?
Oh yeah.
That does not say ISF, and what that means is they are not trying to compete with the M series competitors that the ISF was when it came out on the previous gen. This is literally just what we asked for, the V8 with the IS350 F Sport platform. Same active suspension, and we'll talk about that more when we drive as well. Coming down the line, everything's body color matched. You've got the keyless, hand goes here, lock it with the button there. There it goes, it's trying to. And fuel check. Ooh, you hear that? There's no button inside the cab. I like that a lot. Interesting. And it's a cap, not capless, but, oh wait, you can't put diesel in here? What the heck? Anyways, I don't like that it's the old cap, but you know what? That goes with the old school charm of this car. Nothing to complain about here.
Very Toyota.
Yeah, very Toyota. I'm gonna let it go. And nothing else really matters here except this, where it says 500 instead of 350. And then look at these staggered, diagonal mounted exhaust tips.
Stacked.
Oh, God, it sounds so good. I'll put that right here. All right, nothing else matters. Let's jump under the hood. Hey, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, boys and girls, check it out. There it is. This is the 5-liter V8. It is the 2UR GSE. My gosh, let's just get the numbers out of the way. 472 horsepower at 7,100 RPM.
70 what?
7,100 RPM. And look, if you put it in and let it shift on its own, it shifts at about 69 or 68. When you paddle shift it, you can run it out there and it will actually hold that gear. It won't shift up on you when you put it in manual mode. Big props on that. 395 pounds of torque at 4,800. This thing wants to rev and it does it well. It's also packaged with the 8-speed and stacked with gears that work well for it. It's not lugging around like a Toyota TRD 4Runner. It is geared right out of the box. We freaking love this thing. And look, like Craig says, this is it. In the future, this won't be a thing. Thanks to emission standards and everything else, it'll be a Turbo 6 or a Turbo 4 or whatever, and those will be fast. They'll probably be faster than this. But they claim 4.4 to 60. We're gonna find out in just a second when we test it. My gosh, just, Bravo, Lexus, thanks for making it. Look, the personality of this engine is think Ford Coyote, but Yamaha's involved. That's the feeling that this has. It's so refined and it revs so well. You have an active intake, which I really like. Come look over here. When you actually floor it, this valve opens and it goes whoop, just like that. And it opens up and gets more fresh air into it, and you can hear it. This thing has more intake noise than it does exhaust. And in fact, if I had to complain about something, which I don't, I would wish the exhaust was like 5% louder, but
aftermarket's got that.
Aftermarket's got that, not a problem. This thing's a gem. I can't wait to hopefully own one of these one day. Also, ABS suspension. You see this wire going into the strut cap. It goes from soft to softer and then extremely soft. That's what happens here, but it rides great everywhere. Dynamically, my only issue is that I wish it was just, again, 5% stiffer on that end, but driving around Sport Plus is perfect. What do you say we check out the interior?
Let's do it. All right, Brian, it's time to check out the interior of the IS500. And that is, let's start with the trunk back here, Brian. It's a trunk, okay?
Oh,
next,
okay.
That's good. I want you to check out the back. Let's get back here. Maybe not the best room in the world, but it's comfy, everything's nice. Enough of that. Let's go to the front. All right, Brian, moving on to the cockpit or command central. We basically already reviewed this car with the IS350 F Sport. Everything looks good. We just get the white interior here, which I think looks good, but I would get black. It would be fine with me. I'd good either way. Honestly, you
can get red too.
You can get red too, yes. The controls are the same. Everything's the same. There's really no difference. I do want to show the gauges because the gauges are really cool. All right, so the center dial, you can hit this button here to change your pages. And I love how it goes to the right or it goes to the left. That's pretty cool. And so what you do is you put it over here in this mode and you see there's Eco, which does actually work. We'll talk about that on the drive. Normal, Sport, but you want to do Sport, then Sport Plus, and you get the white gauge, kind of like LFA style, and it just rips because the only thing that matters in this car is this button, Sport Plus, and the sound. Here we go. Let's go drive it. All right, Brian, time to prep the tires.
Little scrub.
Okay.
All right.
Just want to make sure we get a good time.
Gotta get the dust off the tires.
All right, Brian, IS500 is the last of its kind.
Sport Plus. I'm using auto hold. Actually, that's the best launch we've had so far.
We're in the middle of greatness. Last thing for you, just make sure you enjoy it.
You ready?
Go.
Heaven. Hard 1.2 and 60 miles an hour.
And 5.38 with me in the car.
Right, and honestly, there's some heat soak. We've just done 6 runs, or sorry, 4 runs. That's number 5.
Right.
It could be better than that. We've seen low 4s out of this thing before. It was actually a pre-pro car before.
Right.
So, and it was a more prep surface than this. So 4.4 is what Lexus claims. I totally believe it. It's a hot summer day, is what it is.
Right. Brian, we've had this car before. We had the IS350 F Sport, all-wheel drive, which came with the 6-speed, which is not good. Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
This is all drive.
Sorry,
that's the review. That's it. That is it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did because this has this is the 500, has a 5-liter V8.
But it has the 8-speed, which I want to talk about. I do actually want to talk about that.
Yes.
So let's get into that. So the 5-liter is, like I said earlier, it feels like a Ford Coyote that Yamaha made, and it's incredibly refined. It feels like a violin or a well-tuned piano.
It's very well orchestrated.
It's a baritone. Yeah, it's orchestrated completely. There's no rough edges to it. The sound is incredible. It's almost all induction noise, which is the best kind of engine noise. It's not barking at people. It's stealth fast. The 8-speed. This is not a ZF.
Nope.
The internet's going to tell you it's not a ZF. Why is it not a ZF? Why is it not a ZF?
No.
I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter. It's programmed so well that I'm not even complaining about it.
Right.
Now, is it as razor sharp? No, probably not. But it's incredibly smooth. Yeah. And when you put it in manual mode, it will react as fast as you need it to. So It gets it done. As far as interior stuff, I fit, you fit, that's huge praise. Because we're different enough in body sizes, that's how it works. And then the last thing I want to talk about driving wise, and this is the same complaint I have with the IS350, is that when it's in normal mode, the dampening is so soft that in some of the roads I drive to work, I actually find the bump stop. Right. So I find myself driving in Sport or Sport Plus just to have a little more dampening effect. And I wish I could independently program the powertrain and the suspension outside of those modes, because I would do sport on suspension, maybe a little less aggressive on powertrain. But that's it. I'm not really complaining. I'm trying to find problems. Craig, it's freaking epic. I love this car.
Well, but you're hitting what this car is. This car is not perfect. Objectively, if you look at measurements, you look at things, older interior pieces, and some other foibles potentially.
Everything feels like last generation Lexus because it is.
All those things, you're right about all those things. And so is everyone else that's reviewed this car. They've been right about those things.
Yeah.
Of course. But
we're also here to tell you they're right about those things too.
But also, it doesn't matter. In fact, I called him after I drove this car for like a day. I'm like, this car's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perftly imperfect. I think that's what it really comes down to.
That's it.
That's really what it is. Like, and part of the reason why I say it's old Lexus stuff is like there's no USB-C in here. It's USB-A. Right, so I brought the wrong cable for the car. Well, it's an old enough Lexus. That's just what they had.
Yeah, right.
The navigation is tacked on.
Yeah, the Lexus navigation is terrible.
It's terrible. The data system is junk, but you just go, you don't care. It doesn't matter. It's so good. But the steering is good. The seating position is good. It's comfortable as heck.
Yeah.
It's a Mustang with a back seat and a tuxedo wrapped around it.
Yes.
It's so hard to complain about that.
Look, here's my hot take on this. I just watched the movie Tar. It's about Lydia Tarr. She's a conductor, and interesting movie. She's very particular about her taste. She drives a Porsche Taycan in that movie.
Okay.
She should have driven this because of the Yamaha influence.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you for watching TTC Cars. Thank you, Lexus, for making this and literally doing what we asked for you to do with the 350. You just put the V8 in it. You did a great job.
Yes. When you're in the middle of good times, just enjoy it. You're in the middle of good times. This is it. Enjoy it. It's not getting better than this.
If you're on the fence, just buy it. We could have bought this thing a year ago for the channel and sold it for more today.
Yes, because this is a car, if you buy it today, you sell in 10 years, it might be double.
It might. Thanks for watching. It just breathes between gears.
It's beautiful. It won't take long to get down there.
You're right. It just sounds like
You just don't want to stop.
it just. Yes.